right? And she had recorded a video to answer the question. The video is about 6 minutes. I've given her about 6 questions. Now, again, bear with me, bear with her. She is not a speaker. She was so nervous that she didn't want to fly down here. She said, I fly down public speaking, I'm scared. But I've convinced her she will be here in April for our April boot camp. So all of you from December, you'll be invited to come back for our April refresher. So we'll watch the video first. Is that okay? Okay, and she's reading script a little bit. I hope it's okay because she said that she want to make sure whatever she says is accurate. So we bear with her, yeah? But remember, take notes. So with that, can I get Debbie on stage to answer a couple of questions? Go for it. Debbie.
In front of the audience. Without connecting to the audience,
You gotta start the video again.
The speaker will definitely lose an impact. Speaker number 2, Debbie, and I'm thrilled to be here as part of Eric's amazing team. So what do? I oversee our B2B sales and client relations, where my focus is connecting Eric's expertise with organizations or corporate clients to create impactful and memorable experiences for them. I'm here to tell you several things. Number 1, what do clients look for in speakers? There are 3 factors for that. Is relevance, credibility, and engagement. I'll tell you what it is in details, okay? So number 1, about relevance. Clients look for speakers whose message aligns with their event's theme and audience needs. For example, a leadership conference requires speakers with compelling stories or proven expertise in leadership. This is shown by their written program outline, tailored to clients' requirements. Clients will see if the program outline or the speech outline, we call it, from the experts, can actually solve their problems or not. Number 2, credibility. Clients assess credibility through several things. 1, past speaking engagement and testimonials. This is why it's very important to show to clients these factors. Number 2, industry achievements or published work. Relevance to the specific audience, for example, speakers who have addressed similar groups or industries before. Example, a speaker with glowing feedback from a previous corporate event or a best-selling author in their fields that stands out. Number 3 is case study. If experts can show a proven track record of their results or written feedback doing a similar training or speeches, that would be great. So the third factor is engagement. They want speakers who can captivate the audience, whether it's through humor, energy, or storytelling. The memorable experience is the key. So delivery style matters just as much as the content. This is why 99% clients will ask for experts video on stage to help them make a decision. Now, I'm gonna walk you through 3 successful matches that I did in the past and why they are successful. Number 1, for example, speaker A. Why they were chosen? The client was familiar with their style from the past engagement, meaning this client worked for somebody else and then now moved the company to a new company, and then he wanted to engage the same expert because the expert did a good job. What made them a fit? The story aligned with the audience's emotional needs, where clients probably want someone that can inspire their team by the expert's past failure story and then how they got back up to overcome it. And then the second example, speaker B, why they were chosen. The client discovered their expertise through my proposal, meaning I compiled the speaker profiles and then showing their matched topics to what clients looking for and their performance video or engagement style. What made them a fit? The speaker's skill about sales and actionable insights were directly relevant to the training objectives through their program outline or solutions that were given by the experts. The speaker number 3, why they were chosen. The client watched some clips of the speaker's stage time. The energy matched with what they're looking for, which demonstrated in an interactive, high-energy delivery style for a kickoff conference to start the year. And what made them a fit? The speaker's ability to engage participants stood out, especially for a corporate conference needing a lively atmosphere. Now, Apart from the successful stories, I also have 3 failed matches that I did in the past. I give you 3 examples. Number 1, speaker X. What went wrong? The client is interested in them based on the background written in the profile. But after they met the speakers, the expert could not present themselves, means they're nervous and then they're not clear on what they want to teach or what they're capable of, something like that. And then what lesson learned from this? Clients value an expert who knows their topic very well and can hold their presence in front of the audience. Without connecting to the audience and engaging them, the speaker will definitely lose an impact. Speaker number 2, what went wrong? Speaker Y, the speaker's profile lacked key achievements that the client wanted, such as prior experience addressing any engagement teaching C-suite executives. These led to doubts about their ability to handle the similar audience. Lesson learned, demonstrating industry-specific milestones or relevant clientele can build trust and credibility with clients. The last sample, what went wrong? Speaker Z, the client hired this expert based on the written background, decided to meet them for a dry run, and experts promised to tailor the solutions based on what client asked during the dry run. But on the training day, expert did not address the changes that client actually asked previously. It results in client's disappointment. The presentation failed to generate, and client thinks that the content wasn't too deep, as if the expert made a solution without tailoring it to a specific need or specific audience. Lesson learned, always stick to the content that has been discussed and agreed by client during the alignment meeting or a dry run. Now, I believe that all these insights will help you get paid speeches, and I look forward to introducing you to our clients when you're ready, of course, with one sheet and marketing materials. Over to you, Eric. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's give her a big hand for that. Was that helpful? All right. So I'm going to film you guys. And I'm going to forward to her, okay? 1, 2, 3. Yours is said, thank you, Debbie, okay? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. You see, Debbie, they love your speech. You should really come down in April. Okay, now I convince her. So hopefully that will work. Okay, you got some notes? Would you like it to forward this video to you so you can listen to it again and again and again? Very good. So we'll send a video to you, okay? It's part, how you're going to get all the recordings over the last 3 days. It's on School under Classroom. You will see December batch. Every single video that we have recorded will be uploaded there. Got it? With my slides and everything. Now, today, we have another very special guest. Very honored to have him because he's actually one of my very first corporate client from FedEx. And I thought it'd be pretty cool to invite a corporate client who is making decisions on what speakers they want to tell you directly how they decide if they would hire you or not. True? So it's going to be pretty similar to Su Yan Wong's presentation. I have a few questions I will ask him, and then we have about 30 minutes for this. So then I'll leave you for the floor. You can ask him any questions you want. Is that cool? So you stand by what questions you want to ask, yeah? So with that, ladies and gentlemen, it brings me great pleasure to invite Brian T. Let's give him a big hand. Woo! It's a long run, but it's okay. He runs a marathon, so it's fine. Hi, Brian.
Hey, Eric.
Oh, so honored.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. You can take a seat here. All right, I got some questions. Can we have a slide? Brian, I have a picture of us together. You know that? This is us. You remember us?
Wow.
You remember us? This was when Brian was in FedEx. I think this was in Shanghai.
Yes.
Where are you, Brian? Hey, you're not in the picture. I'm sorry.
I'm hiding. I'm hiding.
I think you're the one taking the picture for us. But actually,
I'm
there's
here.
another slide. Huh? There's another slide. Another slide. I'll find it. It's you and I taking a picture together. So maybe we start with something fun first, right? What was your impression of me when you first saw me pitching to you for a speech?
Well, thanks, Eric, for showing such an old picture. Well, it has been a decade, more than a decade ago, but I wouldn't be too specific because that would give away our age, right?
That's fine. They know my age already, so they will know your age too.
Well, that was about a decade ago. I met Eric for the first time. He came across as a very engaging young man with this big desire to help. And as a friend and as a client, it's fascinating to watch Eric grow from a new trainer back then to a celebrated speaker. I'm immensely proud of you. Congratulations,
I
Eric.
didn't pay him to say all this, all right? Okay. Oh, wait, I thought you said congratulations. I thought you wanted to shake my hands.
Congratulations.
Okay, can we have back the cover slide, please? Okay, so I prepared some questions for you, and then I'm going to let them ask you questions.
Right.
Now, so you were in FedEx, you were making decisions on hiring speakers, and then you went to Jodis, and recently you got promoted to be in SingPost, right? So, on what occasions do companies usually engage speakers? Cover slide, please, Evelyn. Evelyn, holding slide. Okay, go for it.
Okay, I like to go back to the first time I engaged Eric, right? So before that, if I may sum up how I can describe Eric, right? 2 words: sincere and generous. Back then, when I was running the learning and development for FedEx Asia Pacific, he is always checking in on me, right? Say, how are you doing, Brian? Is there anything I can help? So one day, I was looking for a program that can help my sales professional to enhance the interpersonal skills. I met Eric again. His content was spot on, solid, relatable, easy to apply. He was able, while speaking, he was able to coach my team to be able to put a common ground quickly with new people that they met. So that was the first session, and we became friends. We became friends, and I was very honored when Eric released his second book, Unlock Your Personal Charisma. I was invited to write a section. Writing it was enjoyable. Getting it approved was so painful. I went through a lot of hoops to get it approved. I went all the way to Memphis, our headquarters in FedEx, to get it approved. So we became friends. Fast forward, in Jodis, right? It was originally a session that having Eric at our sales conference, right? But it became a full-fledged curricular revamp for our sales. So Eric and I, we had a lot of fun. The journey was good. We went on to revamp the program for all the sales in Jodis. We did consultative selling. We did account management, and Eric threw in something additional. He helped me put together in the program a assessment, personality assessment that potentially enhance the communication skills for our sales professionals. So that went really well. That was new and unique. So thank you very much, Eric.
Got it. So that was how I did it, right? Just to set a bit of context, Brian did not say yes to me the first time. I basically shot my shot for about a year, right? And I mean, sometimes he's free, he will talk to me, but it was after a year, then he said yes to me, just to give you a context. He did not say yes to me immediately, right? Sorry? Because no equals to what? Not yet, right? Now, so Brian, could you give them some insights? Like if they are going to reach out to you and say, hey, they want to shoot their shot at you, right? And they want you to invite them to speak at your conference, what do you look out for?
Well, I would like to take a step back. The business world, the corporate world today, right, is very harsh, very complex, but at the same time, extremely exciting, right? On the one extreme, employees literally, they are afraid to lose their job, right? The management team, they are overwhelmed with solving business problems. So together, everybody is trying to do more with less. So in the VUCA world, we use the word VUCA, right? Highly volatile, uncertainty, ambiguity, and complexity. How can we drive well? So first of all, we need to be able to address the VUCA world. Then at the same time, there are many dynamics that are changing. Say the leaders, right? Today, leaders have to pivot because after COVID, leading a physical team is one thing, but leading a hybrid team is another. Plus, Gen Z is coming into the workforce. So, put it this way, we have to pivot so that we can make the best of Gen Z. So all these dynamics are out there. So when it comes to choosing a speaker, there are 3 criteria. Okay, the first one that I look for is, will this speaker be able to solve my business problem? 2, will this speaker will be able to inspire changes? Let my team, let the audience do things differently. The third one, which is very important, I'm looking for the character in the person. Someone who's trustworthy, someone who my team and I can look up to. So these are the 3 key criteria.
And we're going to dive deep into the 3, okay? So, okay, great. I got your 3 criteria. How would you know if a person can really solve your business problem? If let's say now we come to you, how would you know we can solve your business problem?
Right. So, a little bit of the 2 things that I brought up. The first one is the credibility of the speaker. So every day counts. Every single one of your social media posts count. Every single one of your job counts. So before I meet the speaker, I'll be doing some research, right?
Oh, wait, which platform do you use to research?
Many different platforms. But the one that I go to a lot is LinkedIn.
Oh, thank God. See? So that means before we even get to meet them, they're already reading about us. Okay, good. Tell us more. Okay.
Right. So going back, the character part cannot be understated. So from the first hello, to the person pitching the presentation, it's so important. Now, let me just talk a little bit about the content, right? The content, I'm looking for the ability to solve the problem. So I'm looking for some concept, is the concept clear? Is the model clear? If you have visual aids that can help you better articulate your information, that really helps.
Got it. I think when he said concept, he meant what we talk about, framework. That means what's the framework that you use to solve that problem? Okay, good. So that's solution. You say a lot about trustworthiness, right? How do you even, we're only meeting you for the first time. How would you even know we are trustworthy?
The word of mouth, right, is the biggest credibility, right? So if someone recommends you, it's going to go a long way. So, the bad news is that you need time to build your credibility and your reputation. The good news is that once you get there, the word of mouth is going to be your most credible resource for yourself.
Got it. Okay, I'm going to pause there for a moment. I'm going to let you all ask questions. How about that? Okay, so who's going to be the brave soul to start the ball rolling? Who has a question? Okay, let's go for it. 1, 2. Okay, so microphone will go. Okay, introduce yourself and then you shoot your shot. You can ask your question.
My name is Manish. Hi, thanks for sharing. So you covered the 2 parts. What about inspiring change? How do you check for whether a potential speaker can inspire change?
Well, I think one part of the review process, right, I'll be looking for background, right? So what was the previous pictures, videos, and case study, right? And then at the same time, I'll be listening to the pitch. I'm looking for the framework, right? The framework, how would the framework potentially be able to solve my problem? At the same time, I put some emphasis on creativity, because when there is creativity, right, that will typically provoke or inspire doing things differently.
Oh, this is interesting. Wait. When you say creativity, that means that when we pitch you a solution, we share with you how our solution is unique, different from existing solution. Is that what you meant?
Yes. What's new about it?
So as long as new, it will pique your interest.
Yes.
To you, new means it will inspire, because your sales team will have already heard so many frameworks already. So if I have something interesting, unique, you will listen.
That's correct.
Okay, cool. Got it. Does that answer your question? Great. Next person, we have a lady over there, and then we're going to talk to you. Go for it. Yes, there? Over there? Yes. Yeah, over here. Okay, so you take care of the left-hand column, okay? Go for it.
Hi, Brian. I'm Catherine. Just now you mentioned that you go over hoops to get endorsed Eric's book. I'm curious on LinkedIn. As a buyer, how comfortable are you with leaving testimonials on LinkedIn for the service provider?
Thank you for your question. That's a difficult one. So, the world is evolving. So the first time we met, and when I wrote a section for Eric, it's some time ago. So at that point in time, FedEx was a lot more conservative. So writing something for someone else outside FedEx, I remain to be one of the few today, right? So for now, right, I think different company, different organizations will have different restrictions in terms of the testimonial, right? So if LinkedIn becomes a restriction, then we ask for permission, can we use your testimonial as part of the consultation process? I believe most of the time, the corporate customers will say yes. So that's one way around it. Some companies are quite strict when it comes to guidelines on LinkedIn. So because it's not only the individual, it affects the corporation as well. So that we need to navigate a little bit. Thanks, Catherine.
Thank you. And we go over here, so we keep flipping, all right? Yes, Christina, I think. Go for it.
Hi, I'm Christina Teo. My question may be like 2-3 parts actually.
Sure.
So one is relating to when you were in FedEx and then comparing now with SingPost, okay? So what kind of budgets are set aside for this kind of speaking? So do you classify speaking different from training? And then FedEx is a different kind of organization, obviously, than SingPost. So how do you decide, like how many people will get a chance to hear this person speak? So again, same thing. When you were at FedEx and now at SingPost, the classification could be different. Thanks.
Thank you very much. A few elements to your question. The budget, right? The good news is that everybody has got budget. Everybody. They will tell you they don't, but they do, right? And as the business world progresses, the budget for learning and development, the budget for employee engagement is there. And I would say that it will continue to be there, and it may be growing. The better news is that no matter what size the company is, even smaller companies, they will have budget. Okay, so that's the first part on the budget. Is how we convince the corporations that we are worth the budget. Okay, so that's the first point. Secondly, is speaking the same as learning and development? I would say different, but very similar. Usually, one thing will lead to the other, right? So the second time I engages Eric, it was actually a very big project. It's like it took us almost a whole year. It started with a speaking opportunity at the sales conference, and then, it evolved and it became a trainer session. It evolved into a full-fledged curriculum. Today, Jodis is still using the curriculum that we left behind. So I mean, getting the business is one thing, but leaving behind a legacy is another.
Remember we talked about the back end? That was the corporate back end. So usually management need to see you in action. And then if they see that, hey, all the managers seem to love you, then they will decide to work with you on more projects. So usually that's how we do it. Did we answer your question? Thank you. Okay, next person. Okay, good. Where's the microphone? So whoever is the runner, right, you should be running already when we are talking. Yeah? If not, then you will drag my time. Runner, you should be running already. Pass the microphone to the next speaker. Whoever wants to ask a question, raise your hand. Yeah, so that I want it to be like that, okay? Okay, go for it.
Hi, my name is Jai. My question is, how do you assess the success of the speaker after the event? Do you already have, how do you know what's a tangible outcome that you look for?
Yeah, that's a good one. So typically in most organizations, right, we will have the post-event survey, right? If it's a big event like a sales conference, everything will be measured, and the speaker is one of them. And I mean, to put it very simply, it's almost like a small sheet, right? Was the speaker engaging? Was the content useful? So on and so forth. So that is one area. I go beyond that. I will speak to my audience and get their opinion and hear their views. And if I see some changes in their behavior, they start doing things differently. Oh, that's a big one. Okay, so in short, there are a few levels: level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 3 would be leading to a change, but we cannot just depend on the speaker to deliver a level 3. So typically when that happens, right, it will be kind of a continuous program like what Eric did for us in Jodis, right? Take from stimulating the interest, starting and being curious about the changes, and then bring them through the change and delivering the results. So now there's a big science behind the return on investment for speaking events, for training events.
Got it. I hope this reinforced what we thought in day 2, that clients are looking for what? Change, think, feel, and act. So he keep emphasizing the act, right? So I think that's something for us to take note. Thank you so much for your question. Next person.
Yes.
Yes, good.
Yeah, thank you, Brian, for very good insight. No doubt in the business, dynamics have changed. And you did say that you hire a speaker to inspire, that I understand. The part when you say that you hire a speaker to also solve business problem, that I want some clarity on. What business problem were you talking about that a speaker could help you to solve? Thank you.
Okay, for example, let me give you for example, when FedEx acquired TNT, right? So there's a merger and acquisition. There's a lot of anxiety, right? Some people are excited, some people are worried. So there's a lot of changes. The mission back then was to retain talent, retain customers, and then grow, right? So it's a fantastic opportunity during the sales convention or during the town hall meeting when we have an opportunity to meet the people. We want to portray that kind of good vibes. So typically we'll have a speaker who can energize, be part of the messaging, to talk about how people react during changes, so that we can better navigate our emotions. So that's one. Of course, it doesn't stop there. And then how can we incorporate different elements along the journey? So sometimes we hire a few different talents, some for this event, some for a continuation, leading to a change management program that is more like a corporate training, etc., etc. So in the corporate world today, we use different resources to get the result that we want. Did I answer your question?
So this is interesting, right? Because it means to say if we actually want to work with a company, we may want to research a bit about a company to look at what kind of changes is happening. And then we see whether we can be a spokesperson for that change. So the little secret is always read the CEO message or the shareholder report. Usually there's big companies, they always have that. And then they always have a message for 2025. And you can actually align yourself and say, I noticed you have this message of resilience, and I happen to be an expert in resilience. I could help reinforce some of your messages. I think it's my new takeaway, because I didn't know that you guys would look at it this way. Yes. Sorry, microphone for her, please. Run. See, that's why we call you runners. Okay, 加油. All right. Okay, go for it.
My name is Jinia, and I really like that insight, because we have to have a good reason in a big business whereby why should we hire someone to speak just to improve our business? But if it does, as you say, the unity, and when there's anxiety, I think that's really a big haha for a lot of us here. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. If I may just add, right?
Please add. Yes.
I mentioned earlier, I look for 3 things when hiring a speaker. The third one is character. So that's important because typically when I hire someone, I'm looking forward to a continuation, because we introduce a new talent to the organization. There are always more than one element that this new talent can add. So I look forward every time to see, how can we continue? What's the part 2? What's the part 3? Just like what I did with Eric in Jodis.
Is it a Brian thing, or do you think most of your other corporate peers also are like you? Like character is very important to them.
I would say is quite common, I would say. Yeah. But I would articulate that I look for character. I'm not sure many people would do the same.
Got it. I just want to assure you that these people are all very good character, right? You're all very good character, right? Can I one by one introduce them to you? There's a lot of them. You might have to stay very long. I'll submit the 1 sheets to you. You stress, right? Because I know Singpost also, I read about Singpost. So Singpost also making some new change in transformation. So I'll read about SingPost and then maybe you see how you can shoot your shot, okay? Is there still budget for SingPost for next year, 2025?
We have budget. For sure we have budget.
Okay, 算得上我们吧哈 all of us Okay, thank you. Very good. Okay, next question. We have time for a few more.
Hi, Eric.
Go for it. Yes.
Hi, Brian. So this is more on market information. If I want to know locally, when I say locally, Southeast Asia, internationally is global. Who are your top 3 choices aside from Eric that you will call for a bidding locally and internationally, whether you have a global L&D or sales conference versus a Southeast Asia one? Who are your top 3 choices for each category?
Wow, that's a tough one, huh? I would say in today's business world, right, the purchasing process is very, very sophisticated, right? Most of the time, the vendors have to be part of the vendors, right? So because I know Eric and I typically recuse myself from the first round, right? Yeah, and what maybe a tip for everybody is that, even if you don't get picked the first time, just continue to be present, continue to be generous, continue to check in, right? And build the relationship. So end of the day, this is very much a relationship business. If you can show that you have got something that you can help in the business world, right, you will be engaged.
I want to follow up with a question. So does that mean that a lot of times internally in your board, right, when you have a conference, you all don't really go to Google to search for the speaker? All of you will just go back to your memory of who you have worked with before. All your peers will do that.
Yeah, I think that's a very common practice. But at the same time, we also welcome, new thinking. So there will be some people in the committee that will say, oh, why don't we go do some research?
Good. So when you research, where do you go?
Google.
Google. What do you search?
Google and LinkedIn.
In Google, what do you search?
Speakers.
Okay, thank God. Okay, good. SEO, take note. Speaker. Do you search like business speaker, motivational speaker, inspirational speaker?
Yes, but the keyword is speaker.
Got it.
And sometimes trainer, sometimes.
Got it. Then LinkedIn, what do you search?
Same.
Okay, cool. Okay, question, quick. We have about 10 minutes. Yeah, you've been raising your hands, but the microphone is never with you.
Sorry. Brian, follow-up question.
Yes, okay.
My question is, who will be your top 3 choices locally, Southeast Asia, and globally?
Any well-known
I'm not
names that you
asking
know
the
about?
process.
Yeah.
I'm asking who.
Yeah, maybe we can take this offline.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. You corner him lah. Okay, but you just remember Ivy Law. Next time you just put her as one of these. Okay, we have the gentleman over at the back. He's been raising his hands for a long, long time. Let's go with you.
Hi,
Yes.
hello. My name is Tejas. I'm Gen Z, and I work in the arts. So my question to you is, how open are you, or do you think other corporate clients are, to speakers who are not from a similar industry to yours? Or let's say, for example, because I'm an actor and MC and drama educator. So how open are you to, inviting a speaker who is from the arts or from another industry? Thank you.
Well, I'm very open. There will be different occasions that the corporate can engage you as a talent, that you can add value. I'm sure there'll be many, many different occasions. Yeah, so just continue to be curious. I'm sure you'll find your niche, and you'll be able to engage your niche very well.
Thank you,
So
Brian.
maybe I help add on what he's trying to ask you, right? Does corporate only want to work with speakers who have done, let's say because you belong to logistics industry, so do you only work with speakers who are from the logistics industry, like have a lot of experience in logistics? Or do you also work with speakers outside of logistics, but they have an interesting, innovative solution that can help solve the problem, but they're not from logistics?
I like to work with speakers from anywhere, right? And it's because, like, for example, if we have a very casual small group customer event, and then if the topic is something that is in your area of expertise, then we can engage you. I mean, recently there are a lot of interest in terms of the future of work, how AI is changing the way we interact with one another. So yeah, we have been looking around, for speakers in the AI area.
For AI area, hold on. Okay, how many of you are from the AI niche? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more? 7. Okay, later on, Brian will be here for another 15, 20 minutes. Brian, you see them, okay? Okay, but you don't have to say yes. We'll make sure you have a one sheet first, yeah? All right, good. Now, I just want to ask one more question for him. Could you tell us what's your area of expertise? Or at least in day one, what have you discovered about your area of expertise?
For me, it would be pursuing unconventional paths, unconventional careers, especially for youth, specifically a career in the arts. But I guess that's quite niche, quite specific.
So if someone like him come to you and say that's niche, how? Any advice for him? Like if he wants to get into corporate, what kind of topic would fit for you?
Well, I think we would have to sit down and think through, like what kind of a situation would you be able to energize which part of the business?
Actually, sorry, maybe if I were to redefine, I think actually on an overarching scale, it's more about resilience, about how I fought to pursue this career because my parents were not for me pursuing the arts. And I had a placing in NUS and how I basically fought to, change my career path, choose my own destiny to pursue a career in the arts. So I guess that's more about resilience.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So what? So if he switched to resilience, his story of how he chose an unconventional path, it will work for you.
Yeah, we need to find like, what learning can we draw from experience and who are the audience? So if we can solve that, then of course, you'll be able to bring that value to this group of people.
Very good. Capture what he just said, yeah, all of you, because he don't say about the story. He says, what can we learn from your story? So if you can sell the lessons, the story doesn't matter, right? Because the story is just the packaging. So I think this is important. So we don't just tell, next time when we pitch to a client, we don't just say, oh, I have a story about how, I lost $1 million or how I was lost. No, it should be, I went through this and here are 3 lessons that I thought will resonate with your audience, right? Because at the end of the day, what I've learned from working with them is essentially they are saying the same thing as us. Just that because they are in the organization, no one listens to them anymore. But sometimes you need to pay someone else to say the same thing. Right now, I'm sure your husband and wife said the same thing about you signing up for this program, right? Your husband and wife probably tell you, whatever Eric tell you, I've been telling you, but you don't listen. You must pay someone else, then you listen. That's our job. They pay us to say whatever they already say. Is that true?
That is so true.
Yeah. So maybe next time we just make friends with them and ask, what have you been saying to your people? Then memorize that and see that could be your message or not. Yeah, reverse engineer the sale. So we need 2 meetings to close them. 1 to collect info, 2 then we do our pitch. Okay, we have 8 more minutes. We have time for maybe 3 to 4 more questions. Go.
Hello, Brian. Lovely meeting you over lunch, and thanks over for being here and sharing with us. I've got the following question. Imagine you've done your homework, you're convinced about our ability and credibility to speak about something, solve a problem, about our character and ability to inspire your audience. Now, what would you advise us to do as prospective speakers to really understand best the problem you'd like us to help solve and the needs that you would have as a company so that our speech would be most tailored to your needs and would maximize the impact for the audience?
Okay, so that I get your question, right? So you're saying how to be more precise in terms of solving the business problem. Oh, more tailored. I see. Okay, good. So a few things to consider. We need speakers to know the business problem very well, right? And then how would you address the business problem? And then the context of it, right? Who is the audience? What would they need? Why are they resistant? How to inspire changes in their behavior. So that goes into the solutioning part. So before we can do good solution, I think sitting down with the business, more than just the person who's going to hire you, just to understand deeply what are the issues. And then be patient with ask them to be patient with you in terms of your solution so that you're spot on. Yeah. So once they sign off, then it's about how you deliver and how you inspire the audience for changes. Make sense?
Very good. Okay, let's flip back here again. Yes, go.
Hi, Brian. My name is Karen. So you do get feedback from your teammates though, right? Like after a presentation from a speaker. So if that's the case, have there been any speakers in the past who stood up for SingPost? And what made their message particularly memorable or relevant to your teams?
Yes. Okay. I'll give you an example. Okay, that was one of the better conferences that we had. I'm going to tell you a story with Jodis, the freight forwarding company that I joined prior to SingPost. So in Jodis, our chief economist, he's very well known in Europe. So he make his way here once a year to engage our Southeast Asia customers. So typically, I will travel with him. We'll do a few stops: Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, right? And Indonesia, right? So he will be talking about the macroeconomics, talking about how globalization has changed, how the occurrence of a crisis has become a lot more frequent. And then I have to come in to bring it to the ground level for the audience, which is how does that impact your supply chain? What would you need to plan, right? And some of the solutions include we have to be a lot more flexible, perhaps build in a road air or road sea approach, especially during COVID when there's congestion in the port or seaport or airport, right? So typically after that event, post-event, we'll be talking and chatting with the audience. I think the audience feedback that on the spot would be the best gauge. When people come up to a speaker saying that, well, this is by far, one of the better and practical and relatable conferences. So I think that's a good sign. Then of course after the event, both of us kind of having a mini competition, right? Who scores better in the evaluation, and we also take the feedback seriously. So during one of the first time he visited this part of the world, right? There are comments saying that, oh, it's very macro. How can I use the information? What does it mean to me? As a logistician. So we kind of took that feedback seriously, and then we work on it. That's how I got involved, and and then we continue to improve.
Would you say that the European American audience are a little bit different from the Asian audience? What I mean, that means when you're in Europe or America, the audience prefer us to do macro, big picture. But then in Asia, our audience like more how to. Is that accurate or is just my point of view?
I think you're right. Here in Asia, we are a lot more detailed. We want to know the details. We want to really dive in. What does it mean? How can I use this? What actions can I take? So that's kind of a different. In the US, it's more good information. Oh, it's entertaining. I have a few laughs. Oh, that's great. Yeah, so a little bit different.
Got it. So practical seems to be very important. Okay, 2 more questions and we wrap up. Anyway, we're gonna break for tea break, and then you can grab. I can grab a piece of Brian. Okay. All right. So 2 more questions. One, and then after that, last one. Okay.
Hi,
go for it.
Hi, Brian. I'm Joe. I have a very simple question. Since about 200 of us are over here, right? I believe a lot of us here would be coming out to become a speaker, right? So what is your take on would you hire or allow or give a chance to new speakers for the first time to go to your stage to share something with your people, to do it more in a salesy, more preachy way, as in what you mentioned as a good character, or a more humane way of sharing to your people?
Okay.
So wait, I think there are two parts to his question. Number one is, will you be open to hiring a new speaker?
The answer is yes.
Good. Then number 2, how would you want a speaker to be? You want a speaker to be, like you said, more human story sharing, is it?
Yes, you're right.
Then
You're right.
I don't understand the salesy part. What do you mean
That
by
means
salesy?
coming here, I must own my sales staff. Let's say you have a sales team, right? You want them to get more sales, how to get to retain the customers, get more sales, to get more accounts for your company, right? Or you want someone to come in and share that how you should go into getting your sales in a more comfortable way, how you can bring in more, rather than being more sales are coming in. You want numbers, or you want someone to be attached to your customers in a more
okay, got it.
Yeah.
So that means if you hire a sales speaker like him, do you want a sales speaker to talk about, get more sales, These are all the tactics, or it's about serving the customer. Let's put the customer in the center of everything that we do. What kind of message?
Well, if it's a traditional sales conference, then typically the environment, right, will be a high energy, high impact speaking style, so that you wow the audience, you wow everybody. If we take a step back, right, there are many different occasions. It could be, say, all the C-suite plus the C-1, -2. It could be a company retreat, thinking about business for the next 5 years. So in that kind of more senior leadership as an audience, you have to tailor, to the audience style. So if it's, matured professionals, then we want to tone it down a little bit here, right? So if I want to take one more step back, right, talking about the pitching process. So if you come to me or my team and trying to bring your value to us, right, I would suggest be yourself, be authentic. That's the best. No need to try too hard. Don't be too salesy, right? I think the connection followed by the content would be the most important.
I want to add one more point with what you just said, right, about the be yourself. We have to accept that not all clients will want us. I think it's more important that you be your authentic style, and then the client say good for me or not good for me, than to try to adapt to what the client want and then you screw up on stage. So for example, I'm definitely the high energy, story, humor, but you ask me to do reflection, facilitation, and then like I want all of you to close your eyes. I can't do that. So I rather upfront, like dating, what? Same thing. You don't try to pretend to be a nice guy, right? Just be yourself, and then the person will decide whether they like the person or not. So you fake and try to be like chameleon with the client. The client will pick you, but you'll suffer later on stage. So what's your style? What style are you? Are you more the first style, the rah-rah, high energy pump? Or you're the...
Like what Brian just mentioned, right? If let's say I'm being invited to his speech, and I go for a big event, right? I'm the rah-rah stuff.
But if small event, you can do the very calming.
Yes.
Well, then you good lah, you win. You both sides also can win the market.
No, I'm not saying that. But because, in the industry, because Brian comes from a corporate world, because that's the different needs. That's why I asked is because when he mentioned that the first time he would hire a new speaker, right? Because some people, that Eric mentioned earlier on, some speakers, when they come in, they don't know what they're talking about. They even fumble when they try to introduce themselves. So when we first met for talking about me and hiring me to be an example, hiring me as a speaker, you will see how I am, right? But when it's on the stage, it's another different thing. You know where I'm coming from? So you think, hey, this guy or this lady looks good, man. I first met, I'm hiring him, but when you go on the stage, oh my God, what is happening? So the first question actually to me is that I want to understand how the corporate world thinks when you hire a first-time speaker, and in what way that get your attention that I want him or her.
Distinction. What he's trying to say is personality and speaking style. When you first meet us, right, what do you want to see? Do you want to see our speaking style, or do you want to see our personality?
Personality.
Yeah. Done. So personality means you just be whoever you are. But then after that, for you can win 2 types of speeches because you can flex both, then increase your chance of getting paid speech. But then for some of us, we really need to be very clear to tell the client what is our style. You saw Nadam just now when you make your brief, that's one style, right? But that's not maybe all of our style. We need to tell our client. Otherwise, the client will match you wrongly, and then we're going to be in trouble. Yeah? Okay, final question, then we'll go for break. Thank you. Okay, yes. Terence, why are you raising your hand?
No, just a yes/no question. Have you ever hired a speaker who brought a musical instrument?
Yes.
Oh, who?
Thank you.
Give us more context. What do you mean?
No, that was actually a team building event, a big conference. All of us were given 2 sticks, and it started with a few things, and then it became a symphony. So that was kind of amazing.
So the speaker is a music conductor?
Yes, and he was actually, I mean, the content of the not a whole lot of content. I think the whole idea was to get the entire audience, right, to be part of the symphony. So that was magical. I had a strong impression, and I thought one of the most memorable.
That was which company? FedEx?
FedEx.
Would you want to do that for SingPost in future?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
we can always
have a music conductor in the room. Who's the music conductor from yesterday? Where's Adrian? Adrian over there. Yeah, he's an award-winning music conductor. He made us do some things yesterday. So can go connect. All right, very cool. Thank you, Terence. Wrap it up.
Thank you. Hi, Mei Ling here. I had the pleasure of meeting Brian for lunch, at lunch today. So great conversation. So my question is, so for aspiring speakers who are trying to connect with C-suites or decision makers like yourself, we will try and connect with you guys on LinkedIn and send via messages. What would impress you guys, or what can we do so that you guys can actually connect with us?
That's a good question, right? So I receive a lot of LinkedIn invites every now and then, and some of those caught my attention. So maybe two types. The first type would be something interesting, something of value that I enjoy reading. So after reading it, I connect, right? So that's one type. So if you're trying to connect with people, I would suggest don't get salesy. Offer something, right? And that will increase the chance of being connected. So that's the first one. Then the second type of people that I get connected, it's a funny story. Recently, I hired a company that helped me do a lead gen, okay? Lead gen. So essentially, it's a company based in the Philippines. So they generate leads for my sales team. So it started that way. LinkedIn message came in, I ignore, and then just keep coming, and say, hey, Brian, I just want to show you my tenacity. Let's get connected, something like that. And somehow, this person got my mobile phone number, and then the phone rang, and I answered the phone. And you know what? I entertained.
How do you get your telephone number?
I mean, instead of like getting angry and say, how do you get my phone number? Yeah. I was having a good conversation with the person, right? Because I like the persistent. So from the phone call, it led to a video call. So, over the video call, she was very professional, very, very professional. And then after that, one of her managers made a trip to Singapore, and then we had a good meeting. So fast forward, we are in business. So two things. Either you get the attention through content, or you be persistent. But persistent, that was a good balance. She wasn't being over the board. She's just being a little bit humorous, And sometimes I receive messages like, Brian, this is the last time that I'm gonna text, message you. If you don't respond, it's okay. I'm not gonna message you anymore. That kind of little bit of.
Does that work? If we try that on you?
It works sometimes. Yeah. I mean, if it's funny and humorous, and I sense a bit of a sincerity in the message, I will respond.
I'll teach you. Use Eric.ai. Put in Brian T's LinkedIn account and say, study Brian's style and come up with DM scripts that will resonate with Brian T. I guarantee you your work because it's trained already. Okay, so you got 200 of us. Get ready. This weekend, you'll be very busy. All of you, try, okay? Hey, how about let's play? Brian, how about let's do something real? Anyway, this is our last question. Can we give Brian a big hand first? Brian, I have to trouble you to do something for us, okay? Sure. So there is about 200 of us, including our friends from overseas. We have friends from New Zealand, Canada, Sydney, watching us as well from this camera. Hi. All right, and how about this? We're all going to message you to try to add a connection with you, okay? Absolutely. You be strict. You literally read everybody, and those that you say yes, you screenshot forward to me, you tell me why. Okay. I'll buy you a nice meal.
That's a deal.
Deal? Then I compile all the learnings together, then we come up with some kind of a pattern of what resonates with them. And we try that with all the other guests in future. How about you want to play that? Okay, so you send, if it worked, good for you, but I'm very curious to know why you picked them. Is it because of their photo, their background, their content? Wow, then we will have a formula of how to be able to win people like you.
Sounds good.
Okay, you promise, huh?
I promise.
High five. Yeah. You guys like this segment? Do you want more segments like this next time? Okay, we'll invite more, okay? All right, so with that, I prepared a little prize for you. Not prize, sorry, like a little token. I know you like a bit of life. So this is for you.
Thank you so much.
You enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
Shall we take a picture together? Thank you so much. Brian T, big round of applause for him.
Thank you, everybody.
AI speakers, go look for him. Okay.
No, I just wanted to
Yeah.
say that as you journey forward, it's gonna be an intriguing adventure. I'll be cheering you on. I'll be watching your growth at the side, and then if there's anything that I can help, please reach out. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, Brian. Really appreciate it. Come, get my team to walk you. Thank you. Having fun? Pretty cool, huh? Well, I got one more surprise for you after the break. We have Linda that will be coming on stage. Linda is our success manager. You will get to meet her during Pitch Quest because when you're working on your one sheet, she'll be reviewing with you, and she's your liaison between GPTS and Debbie. So Linda has also spent the last, I think, we only hired her 6 months ago. She has already worked with 86 of our light bringers. And I asked her to tell me, why is it that some light bringers can get paid speeches in under a year? Why is it that some light bringers do the same thing but never get paid speeches? And she came out with some answers.